I know what you're thinking. Why is there a parrot and a shark?
I feel sorry for the parrot.
Why?
Well, it's about to get eaten.
What, by a shark?
Yeah.
Out of the water?
Mate, they're not carnivores.
Herbivores.
Mate,
they're not carnivores.
Mate, they're metaphors.
Metathorus. So here we are at
Pirate Adventureland in Weston-super-Mare.
Pirate Adventureland in Weston-super-Mare, and they've kindly just let us just dump the bikes in here so we can do a little roundup of today's riding.
I think you've said it before, they're probably our bikes of 2015.
Yeah.
Standard 1299 versus standard R1, so to speak. We've both got very different opinions, haven't we?
I think we come at it from a different, slightly different perspective, which is good. You know, you got the all-out race experience, and I've got the all-out kind of twat experience. So, you know, I think it's all good. But yeah. So I mean, for me, I had the pleasure of having the R1 for a couple of days. Rode that in and out of London. Then we swapped over, had the Duke, and I've been kind of playing around on that. And I've got to say that it amazes me to say this, but Ducati have actually made a better road bike than Yamaha.
Yeah. I'm in astonishment as well. I mean, everything from pulling away, town, throttle pickup, everything about the bike.
Especially throttle pickup.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be noted. I mean, before we kind of delve into any sort of issues with the bike, the R1 is an out-the-crate race bike.
Yeah.
Lest no one forget it. That is exactly what it is. That's why the headlights are where they are. That's why everything is kind of what it is. It is just designed to go as fast as possible around the circuit.
Yeah, they've got the engine, they've got the frame, and they've just bolted it together and just put, well, there's some lights and some, you know, obviously there's aesthetical reasons and the lines which divide opinion, fair enough, but they put the engine and chassis together and made a race bike, and that primarily is what it's built for, isn't it?
Yeah, and fair play to them, because, you know, they obviously set out to say we want to get the fastest lap time of a production bike, and I haven't tested all these bikes on track, but just riding that thing, you know that it's the daddy.
Yeah,
it is the absolute daddy.
It's ballistically fast, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you have to recalibrate your brain to cope with the speed of that R1.
Yeah, and you know, it comes back to being a road bike where most people will buy these things.
Yeah.
You know, the problem with that bike is that it's so fast and so good that you've got to be going a serious lift to actually kind of get the benefits of it. Otherwise, it just becomes a pain. It becomes a pain to ride. Like, when I went into London on it, that first gear, like, throttle bang, like literally on application, it's like bang, bang, like way worse than the 1199, I thought. And it doesn't like launching away. But as soon as you get up buzzing in that rev range and that power kicks in, it's like, okay, I understand what this bike's about.
It's a £7,000, isn't it? £7,000 power band.
Yeah.
It's an absolute ball breaker or something.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I struggled to hold on to it.
Yeah.
Like, you struggle to pin the throttle and hold on to it. But then all the electronics on that thing, it's trying to keep the front wheel down, it's limiting everything, and it's kind of getting it all tidied up beautifully for the rider, absolutely beautifully. But all that said, you know, it doesn't have heated grips, doesn't have cruise control, all the kind of BMW tech. It's got race tech, because that's what they wanted.
A lot of people have been comparing it to, or asking us about comparisons to the BMW, and I think the BMW is an out-and-out road scalpel, isn't it? It's the perfect road bike. It's got everything about it is you know, the suspension, like you said, the heated grips, the cruise control, just the whole package is tailored towards the road, whereas obviously these two are slightly more racy, and the R1 far more so.
Yeah.
But that's exactly why we're here today, isn't it? Weston-super-Mare, we've done the road riding, everyone's tested them, all the big publications that have been on track, and they've, you know, set the lap times and everything else, but, you know, 90%
with their budget.
With their budget, yeah. But
whereas we're here next to a big plastic fish.
And a parrot.
And a parrot, yeah.
We just spent £10 on that.
We did spend £10. You can see that wheel? Trying to do what we're doing now on that wheel. It was so windy.
So you feel like buying some stickers and some hoodies.
Buy some t-shirts.
Yeah. I love the sex music.
Yeah. The turning circle on this is really good. I was like, when he went to turn around, I was like, he's never going to make that.
To make things worse, I nearly oh.
Mm.
Are you going to pick it up?
I'm not picking it up. It's got rigor mortis. It's so big it won't fit in.
Practicalities wise, let's get the boring bits out of the way. I mean, you were amazed. You said the R1 was hot, didn't you?
Yeah.
And then Ryan, I said, mate, that Panigale is going to be hotter.
Yeah.
And you were, no.
Yeah, it's considerably hotter. Yeah. But today, because it's got a bit chilly, I was actually quite thankful of that. But yeah, it's exactly the same as the old one, basically. It's exactly the same issue.
But you know, you can get what? We've got 80 miles out of a tank on the 1299.
Yeah. To be fair, the light came on at 60 miles. That's not good for. I mean, these aren't practical bikes. No. Let's face it. So
a lot of people have been asking about.
A lot of people haven't, because the BMW came in and did all that superbike performance with ridiculously good practicality. Yeah. You know, everyone else is kind of like, oh well, you know, the rest of these bikes should have it, and I guess they're kind of right. In a sense, there should be at least like a luxury package you could get, a comfort pack, which you go, okay, well I have heated grips, I'll get a more comfortable seat and a higher screen, whatever. But that's, you know, it's filling around the edges. I think we're here just to generally talk about how these bikes perform as road bikes, and for me, that 1299 is just takes it for me. If I was going to buy a track bike, upgrade my Honda, I'd just buy that R1. I wouldn't do anything to it. And I just put it straight on the circuit.
Stick some fairings on it.
Stick some fairings on it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think, going back to the 1299, I think it's so much smoother and easier to ride and inspires confidence over the old bike, doesn't it?
Absolutely. There's none of that kind of. Everyone was saying that the front end was vague on the other bike, and there was certainly that vagueness. But this, you jump on it, and I feel more confident and safe on that supple, flexible 1299, because it does feel like it's got a beautifully kind of, I don't know, like a warm blanket around you, which is just a weird thing to say about a Panigale, because they're animals. That
sort of monocoque feel, where it was like a scaffold pole, wheels on each end.
Yeah,
that's vanished, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's accommodating. It follows the road.
Yeah, I mean it has a kind of a flex in it. It feels like, you know, when you see TT bikes at full tilt, they're kind of going everywhere. It kind of feels like it's doing that little bit of movement, but not in an off-putting, scary way. It's just, you just let it do its thing, and it tidies everything up in a manual kind of way. Because let's not forget, this has got manual suspension, old school stuff. Sure, it's got traction and all that stuff, but
it's got everything. It's got everything the S has, bar the adjustable on the fly bits and bobs. So you can just traction.
And the lean angle sensor is awesome.
Yes. But the front end, you know, it steers now. It steers like a conventional sports bike. Whereas before there was that, you know, you really had to muscle it around, didn't it?
It felt like there was always, excuse me. The 1199 for me felt like it always had like dust on the tyres or on the road. It just felt like the little, there's something, there's just something a bit, don't like it. But that is planted and soft. And the seat for me, it's more comfortable just generally to ride it. The riding position, the R1 is intense. It feels like the bars are quite low on the R1, almost angled down. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, no, it's a race bike. Going back to the whole thing, it is aggressive. It's very small. Although, okay, the 1299 is much thinner, isn't it? But it's very small. It's very compact, and we've both likened it to an Aprilia RSV4. Yeah, you know, it's got that really sort of tall chassis and the closest thing to a GP stereotype you could put against it. So,
but with the inline 4 cross plane powerhouse of an engine, and it does make a lovely sound. You know, it doesn't come up on microphones very well, but it is that throbbing. It's basically halfway between a V-twin and a silky V4. Yeah, it is. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Corner entry.
Okay.
And brakes. I mean, for me, the R1's brakes, they could be a bit better, couldn't they? This is the difference between the Japanese bikes and the European bikes at the moment. You know, all the European manufacturers are sticking Brembos and top-notch stuff on it, whereas we've got, they're not rubbish, but there's a noticeable difference between the R1's brakes and the 1299's.
Well, you got some brake fades.
I did, just on the road.
Just to do some shots on corners, and the brakes start fading, which isn't good. Seat is extremely hard. Again, race bike. It's just a bit of courtesy foam, really, isn't it? There's not much. There's not much more to it.
Token foam.
We haven't, and we need to research this more. But it appears that you cannot, on the fly, just quickly change the rider mode.
Yeah.
Which is a bit awkward, because if you're gunning it along, it starts to piss down with rain. You want to just go, oh, rain mode, I'll have that, because those tyres are not good in the wet, and you just want to be
they're not bad.
Well, yeah.
I think the problem with the R1, another problem with the R1 is that throttle, that I haven't found a suitable throttle position that suits all conditions. You know, power mode A and, you know, the correct combination of all the modes, and throttle response and engine mode is too snatchy and responsive in A, and B, it's too vague.
Too late. Yeah, it's got a bit of a delay in it. Yeah. And then kind of C and D are almost just
irrelevant.
Really.
Yeah. But it was built to do 100% throttle. Yeah. And then 0% for the corners. So. Yeah.
Interestingly, I found more wind protection from the Ducati. I am quite tall, so I'm probably sticking up above the bubble a bit more. But the Ducati definitely felt like it had a bit more protection, which is worth considering.
And the grippy pegs, the Ducati.
Grippy pegs, for the Jihadi. Grippy pegs for the Jihadi. For the Ducati, yeah. Thank God for that. Yeah. Thank God for that. Such a small change, but it makes all the difference.
But I think we've spoken about this in the original 1299 video we did. Those mirrors, they're fixed, aren't they? Which makes it a bit of a pain in the cock for vanning and track days and other things. But
and filtering through traffic, you want to kind of quickly slap them down.
And when you're at 180 mile an hour, you just want that extra little bit of speed. You can't just do the old.
No. Yeah, so that is a bit of a problem.
So the differences between the standard Panigale and the S model. Now it's £4,000, isn't it? Near enough £4,000.
Yeah.
Would you choose the S?
No. As far as I can see, all it is the semi-electric suspension, because let's not forget, it's not like the BMW's reactive
it's
scenario.
So it works on the brakes, gets it harder on the brakes, so to speak, gets it firmer on the brakes, lets it off for the corner, so you've got soft and softness for mid-corner, and then when you get back on the gas,
stiffens up the shot. Yeah. So it's not like the BMW system, which is constantly going, we'll sort it out. Yeah. It does feel like one of those things, though, that maybe you might get the S and go, I want the extra electronic, I want to be able to do that. But after you've played with it a couple of times, you're probably just going to leave it.
Exactly.
I mean, how often on the road, even on old school suspension, do you go, what road am I doing today? I'm going to adjust the suspension. It's like, just ride it.
I've got to say, it is, for me, it is amazing on the track. It is outstanding on the track, and I think eventually we'll see more and more of these kits, these Olin stuff on other bikes, hopefully, because it is very good.
Okay. Would I buy the R1? I would, if I had other comfortable bikes sat in the garage, and I would just take it straight to track days. And on the road, it's so fast that it becomes a problem. Legality-wise, it's a problem.
Before you know it, you're doing 130.
Yeah.
We were obviously on a private road then.
Yeah.
But we were, just 3 digits come up, and you're in second gear, third gear, and you think, let's calm it down.
I mean, second gear is you could leave here, we're in Western-super-Mare, and I could travel to London in second gear the whole way.
Yeah.
And in fact, pulling away is probably a bit easier in second because it doesn't have such a snatchy throttle. But yeah, you're going to get yourself in trouble.
Deep
doo-doo. Because it keeps going. It doesn't perform well under pace. So you've got to get it above that kind of that threshold to actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
So that's something you've got to consider if you're going to buy it. You know, do you want to do prison time? Because it is prison time easily on that thing.
Criticising the R1 for being too racy and too aggressive is like saying, criticising Yamaha for having too big a trompe. Isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not criticising it. I'm just
but I'm just making a point of it.
Yeah, but
people jump on it and they'll go, oh no, but
yeah, it's not a criticism.
No.
It's so capable that you need to be on it to really appreciate it, and I think that's.
But it makes you feel so good. And once you're on it in a corner, I can't think of a better bike. I honestly can't think of a better bike.
Wow. So here's the dilemma. Which one do you ride home now?
R1.
Good, because I tell you to go.